Hello everyone, welcome back to the CFD College, to my channel. I'm Ashkan and in this video we will continue our course about CFD Post software in ANSYS Workbench. Uh, if you would like to learn so many things about CFD and especially commercial software like ANSYS, Fluent, Space Claim, ANSYS Meshing, and so on. Uh, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Uh, in this way, you won't miss our next videos about CFD. And let's go to the CFD post and see what we should learn in this video. As I mentioned in the previous video, in this video we will talk about isosurfaces and isoclips in CFD post, their usage and the way that we should deal with them. The way that we create them and how we can use them to export so many data, so many useful contours and parameters, from our simulations using these two commands, isosurface and isoclip. This is a standalone CFD post, and I have already loaded the data to that. As you can see here, I have a Fluent data. It's a steady state simulation flow inside a pipe. As you can see, the diameter of the pipe is increased at this section, and uh, the most one of the most important capabilities and applications of isosurface and isoclip is to export data, extract data from our three-dimensional simulations. In many simulations you need to see the flow field, for example, the velocity field, the temperature field, the pressure field inside the domain, especially if you have a three-dimensional domain. And using isoclips and isosurfaces, we can do it. We can see the flow inside and within our domain. Of course, we can, create a plane and see and export the contour of different parameters. But working with isoclips and isosurfaces are is by far easier. You can see isoclip and isosurface under the location tab. If you can see here, using isosurface, you can um, build and create surfaces with a certain parameter. For example, you can generate a plane at uh, different x or y or z sections. You can create a surface on which the pressure has a certain amount, or velocity, or any other parameter that you have in your simulation. If you uh, click on isosurface, you will see the details here. You can see here you should define and choose a variable. For example, if I want to generate a surface on at the middle of my domain, I can simply create an isosurface at a z equal to 0. See here, you can see here the isosurface that I created. It's like a plane at it's parallel to xy plane, and at the z equal to 0 meter. For example, you can create this isosurface, and after that you can use it to export, for example, mm, the average pressure, or you can plot a contour on this isosurface, or you can uh, draw velocity vectors on this isosurface. For plotting a contour on this isosurface, you can simply you have actually two ways. You can simply go to color tab, and here you can change the mode of coloring. You can select variable, and you can choose the variable that you want. For example, velocity. If I choose the velocity, and if I click on apply, you can see this is the isosurface that we created, and you can see a smooth uh, contour uh, on this isosurface. You can see here the legend. You can change the legend details and settings, just like what I showed you in the previous video. Uh, I won't I don't do that. I won't do that again. In this video, you can see that video again. You can watch that video again if you want. And so this is a really easy and simple way to export and to have different contours at different sections of your domain. Uh, yeah, you can change. You can create another isosurface. You can change the section that you created. For example, if I want to see the velocity or the pressure contour at the cross section of my pipe, I can choose x variable here, and I can, by changing this value, you can create as many sections as you want. For example, let me choose 0.3. So it's here. Let me change the value to 0.45. You can uncheck isosurface 1 if you want to see only the cross sections of the pipe. And here you can change the color mode to variable, and you can select velocity. Now you can see the velocity contour at this cross section. You can create another isosurface at, for example, x equal to 0.15, which is here. And by changing the color mode to a variable, you can choose any variable that you want. As you can see, this way you can create various cross sections across your domain, and see and have a velocity contour or any other parameter that you want. The second way to create contour on any ISO surface is to use the contour option. If you can simply click on contour, you can see the details under the location menu. You should choose the ISO surface that you want, and you can select any variable that you want. See here, this is a pressure contour. It's not smooth. You can watch my previous video on CFD Post. In that video, we talked about how we can change this contour to a smooth one if you want. But these are two ways that you can use to have different contours over any isosurface that you created. You can also have, and you can also draw streamlines on this, uh, isosurface. You can draw velocity vector. For example, if I choose velocity vector, under the location menu, I select isosurface 1, and yeah, by clicking on apply, you can see velocity vectors on isosurface 1. You can change the details and settings of the uh, of the vectors to see the to have the better view of your velocity vectors. So it's done. I think it's enough to talk about for talking about isosurfaces. Now we can go to the second part of the video, which is talking about isoclip. What is isoclip? In using isosurface, you can create a surface, but using isoclip, you can create a volume. So this is the main difference. For example, you should choose a location on which you wanted to create this isoclip. The For example, if I wanted to have a certain section, a certain part of uh, isosurface 1. Here you can see the isosurface 1 is from the beginning of the pipe until to the end. So if I wanted to have the isosurface 1 or only in the first part of my pipe, I can create an isoclip. Under the visibility parameters, I should add, for example, X direction. So the first parameter should be X, and I wanted to have this section, so the X should be smaller than or equal 0.3 meters. Now, if I click on apply, you can see here, this is the isoclip that we generated. Again, you can have different contours on this isoclip by changing the details of coloring. You can choose the variable, and you can choose any parameter that you want. For example, pressure. So this is the pressure contour on isoclip 1, and you can have any other isoclip that you want. For example, half of the cross-section view or anything that you want. But iso surfaces and isoclips are not just useful to create different sections. You can using isosurface, you can find a surface that has a specific amount of a specific value of velocity, for example. So if I create a new isosurface, I can pick velocity variable here, and if I wanted to have, for example, the surface on which the velocity is equal to, for example, 1 meter per second, now you can see this is the surface on which the velocity is equal to 1 meter per second. You can change the value here. You have the surface on which the velocity is equal to 5 meter per second. Let's change the variable to pressure. For pressure, for example, 2, let me choose 2 Pascal. So here we have on this surface, the pressure is equal to 2 Pascal. If I reduce the value, you can see these surfaces. Oh, wow, it's more awesome, I think. The shape is wonderful. But you can play with the value to get any surface that you want. Let me choose velocity again, and for example 2 meter per second for the value. Uh, you can change the coloring. Now the color of this surface is uh, according to the velocity. You can change it to for any other variable. For example, you can show the pressure or the temperature on this surface. Let me choose pressure. On this surface, the velocity is 2 meter per second, but you can see here you have a range of pressure on this surface. These contours can be really, useful for your papers, for discussing about your results. You can use them. And the last point is using ISO clips. You can uh, get the volume and show the volume that has a range in some parameter. For example, on ISO clip 1, if I wanted to have, for example, the area which has the pressure below 0 Pascal, I can add a parameter here, and I can choose a variable, and if I change it to smaller than or equal to 0 pressure or on ISO surface 1, you can see this is my ISO clip. So if I change the coloring to pressure, you can see here the pressure is negative on this ISO clip. You can change the range to local to have the better legend and coloring on this ISO clip. You can change the value here, for example, minus 1 Pascal. So on this section, on the first ISO clip, ISO surface, the pressure is smaller than minus 1 Pascal. So as you can see, using ISO clips and ISO surfaces, you can export many different contours, sections, surfaces, and you can use them to discuss about your results in your papers. And I think in future videos I will show you another application of especially isosurface, which is its usage in two-phase flow, where you can find the interface between the two fluids using isosurface. You can, define an area of the bubbles or droplets, and using some expressions, you can find their velocity, their diameter, their area, their location during time. So try to work with isosurfaces and isoclips to master them, and so that you can use them in your post processing. So this is the end of the fourth session. If you find the video useful, please like the video, please share the video with your friends, and please subscribe to the channel. If you have any question, please comment below on the comment sections. And thanks for watching the video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.